The last few days I was doing okay-ish. I don't know. Each day is always we have to fight against whatever the heck is the problem, physically, mentally, whatever. I'm okay-ish this month, most half the time. I don't know, a little bit better than a few other times, but I'm just fighting my mind and it sucks. But I'm doing the best I can. Let's go down. Let's see, finder. Oh, that's not good. Or maybe it's, who knows, I don't know. Okay, Hokkaido. I know I haven't finished this one yet. I think I'm on the last one of the first page. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right. I finished this guy. This one was that frog lady. Frog wife. And I go to next page. Woohoo! There you go. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of K's in here. Wow. Kage Onna. Kamehine, yeah. Yeah, some of these are just weird. That's creepy. Someone's kneeling on you. Kage Onna? Kage. What does Kage mean? Think. Kage. I don't remember. Shoot. Shadow. Hinokage Suchi. Kagebushi no. That's what I was looking for. Shadow. Basically, it's your shadow. A ghost? Basically, it's a ghost, probably. The shadow woman yokai. You're just walking by and you see a shadow of someone and you're like, nope, they're right there. Well, it doesn't eat anything because it's literally a ghost. And it basically lives in abandoned houses and rundown buildings and yeah, not the biggest thing. Okay. That's all that exists. All that right there. This is gonna be a quick one. Kage Onna. They're just shadows of women projected onto windows and doors. Yeah, basically it's the shadow. A lot of people talk about the shadow like it's your yin to your yang, or it's the it's the dark side. Maybe that's the ghost of you. Well, when you die, your shadow is still alive. Maybe that's what it means by a shadow person. Maybe it's the shadow of somebody that's after you die, your shadow comes alive. I don't know. Again, a lot of things when it comes to this mysterious things about the afterlife and death. Speaking of the afterlife, a lot of people think there's actually one person who might be thinking that might be happening. Apparently, I found out last week that potentially next week on the 23rd and 24th, because Rosh Hashanah starts on the 22nd, but the 23rd and 24th, this one guy says that he had a dream that Jesus was there, and he actually said, hey, I'm going to take millions of people and believers, and then the rest of the people stay here. And then he tells about something about 6 or 7 years, so about 1932, something like that, between now and 2032, sorry. 2032. There's these 6-7 years of something, and then he's gonna return. It's a weird, strange thing. But anyway, forget about that. What if your shadow is basically? A lot of people talk about the mirror world and the shadow world and other stuff. Maybe your shadow is something to do with you. Scientifically, it basically has something to do with light reflecting off you. Anyway, let's continue. Who cares? They take forms of the women, so these are all just the females. So then what happened to the males? And that's the thing about yokai. Anyway, and occasionally you can see that the shadows are accompanied by old crones with bells. Crones, those are basically birds, if I remember correctly. A crone is basically a malicious older woman. Oh. Anyway. So the shadows appear at night when the moon is bright. So like full moon or almost full moon. The paper sliding doors and windows of traditional homes are particularly good at casting shadows. Huh. And then there's a scientist. He says, "You know what moonlight is? Moonlight is basically sunlight." I go like, yeah, sure or not. Anyway, we can't talk about science when it comes to yokai and spirits. How they react. They make no sound, nor do they interact with the house or the inhabitants, other than just projecting an eerie atmosphere. They are not known to cause harm. Okay, so it's not one of those dangerous monsters. In any case, an image of a person who should not be is enough to startle even the bravest person. Yeah, that's what people say. They're like, oh, if a gunman does this, or if this person does that, or that happens, I'm just going to stand up, point my finger at them, stay on my desk. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You're a man, you're a lady, you're a human being. Once you see a monster, a gun, or something, until you do that, they say, what will you do? Like, I don't know what I would do. They would probably freak out. Most people would freak out. You see some sort of black thing just pop up on the side of the wall, and like, what the fuck is that? Nope, I'm not being in here. Anyway, if a window or door is opened to see who or what created a shadow, it will be nothing. There would be nothing waiting in the dark. However, tradition says that a house where a Kage Onna is likely haunted, or will soon be haunted, by other yokai? Ah, cool. So it's like the Kage is the beginning. Like the shadows. The shadows here, like, it basically is a formation of, it's the form of a human being. Probably a shadow is basically, it's the start of what will appear in the future. Other yokai. But there's actually an origin story to it. Ooh. The moonlight frequently plays tricks on your eyes. That's what they say. Causing people to see things in the darkness that aren't really there. The bright moon casts eerie shadows on the ground and wall. Yeah, I should know. I've seen it before. Walking home in the middle of the night, walking to our car after Halloween with the moon full, bright lights, and then you can see your shadow is very scary sometimes. They don't seem like they should fit. It's true. It doesn't look like that it should be real, that your shadow looks scary. Most of the time, it can be attributed to the overactive mind, which is true, that are piecing together a ghost story or wandering thoughts. Sometimes a shadow is more than a shadow. A Kage Onna. Ooh. We've all seen some things here and there. Every once in a while, we've seen some things. But the question was, are they real? Like, actually me, I actually had this happen recently. It's the first time I actually saw a quote. I'm going to quote it. Real ghost quote. Because I can't 100% say sure that it is a real or is imagination or what. What happened was, I went to sleep, and then I woke up. I was waking up in the darkness. I was not groggy or anything. Okay? I actually felt mostly awake. Anyway, this happened about a couple months ago. I can't remember actually when, but it happened some months ago. Anyway, I turned on the side of my bed near the wall, and I actually saw like a top. It was actually white. It wasn't shadow. It was actually white. It looked like the top and the chest and the belly, from the head to the waist, of a female figurine. I don't know why a woman would be popping up in my room, but I actually was scared. So I think I felt cold, and I think I felt some goosebumps. But I was more like grab. I saw this white thing and it started floating up in the air. And I grab. I tried to grab it, and well, it didn't actually hold. Of course not. It's me grabbing air. Things I just started failing. What the heck was this thing doing? Why would you the thing is, how could we check it? Well, it was actually, there was no reflection of any light outside. I definitely remember that. There was no or cars pulling in and pulling out. So I tested it the next night. I said, like, was I groggy? Because I was groggy before, and I like, nope, that wasn't it. Like, was it like me looking at something from the darkness side, where like, my eyes were just adjusted to something? I wanted to test that too. Nope, it wasn't that either. So I can't think of what else it could have been. I couldn't do anything else. But if it wasn't me grogginess, if it wasn't lights from my vehicle, if it wasn't my eyes trying to play tricks on me and get used to the darkness from whenever I was waking up or whatever, what could it be? If it wasn't anything else, then it had to have been some sort of ghost. But if it was a ghost, I have two questions. One, who was it? Two, why come to me? Because again, that's why I keep asking people. That's why it is rude sort of to ask why. Well, the thing is, because nobody ever comes to me. So when someone comes up to me and says like, hey, I'd like to go on a date with you. Oh, hey, there's someone who wants to talk with you. Oh, a ghost is here to talk with you and console you. Why? Why now? Why not 2 months ago, or 2 years ago, or 20 years ago? What's the difference between now and back then? Did I do something? I didn't mean to do anything if I offended somebody. Or, you don't want to say that. You don't say I'm sorry if. Sorry about that. But seriously, if I did offend somebody I don't know, I probably don't recognize it. But why would a ghost come to me? But seriously, you don't really want to... You wouldn't know. A lot of people are like, oh, why would you come to me? Because not that many people get dates, talk to people, nobody comments on your stuff. Sometimes people don't get it. And then that's why they're more confused and slightly angry about why did they come to me now, or why they come to me in the first place. Because nobody ever comes to me. Other people do have recollection of other types of ghosts, although other people's ghosts are more shadow people or something else. But anyway, have you ever seen a ghost before? If you have, tell me what the ghost was like in the comments.